I haven't been this excited for a game in a hot minute. This D&D inspired rustic fantasy game with 0 handholding and 4-player co-op has instantly shot to the top of my wish list. What's up, you beautiful beasts? Today we are diving into the world of Wyldheart, an upcoming early access game in which you'll be roaming the lands seeking adventure, carving out your names as heroes, and saving the day from an encroaching evil. In this video, I'm breaking down what to expect from Wyldheart, the tiny team behind it, and why I'm personally excited as to get amongst this indie gem with my mates. But before we get into it, don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss the next one. And if you want to catch me playing games like Wyldheart live, make sure to check out my Twitch. I'll leave a link in the description below. With all that said, let's get on with the video. Welcome to the beautiful world of Caerwyn, in which you'll be adventuring across several bite-sized campaigns alone or with up to 3 of your mates. You begin your journey like any good RPG by making a character. Start by selecting one of the 3 races currently available. The Grimhorns, strong and loyal folk who are steadfast in the face of danger. Perfect for players who like the large boys. Then you've got the Mosslings, small, cheerful folk with mischievous streaks who strike me as a halfway between goblins and halflings, but all I know is they're perfect for kicking. Nope. And of course, you've got the free folk, bold and adaptable folk who learn quickly and accomplish much. These are your boilerplate humans, but don't worry, I'm not gonna judge you for playing a human male fighter. We all gotta start somewhere. You may notice that this game seems to be lacking more of your typical fantasy creatures, such as knife-eared elves, but it seems like Wyldheart is trying to carve its own style. If this game blows up, which I hope it does, it's likely we're gonna see a few more races added. Just as of writing this video, they managed to surpass a Kickstarter goal and surprised their community with a brand new 4th race known as the Stone Folk, or more commonly, dwarves. Once you've picked your race, you can finally tune how you look with build, hair, makeup, and most importantly, beards. And once you've spent 2 hours making the same 3 characters 6 times because you just can't decide, you can eventually move on to picking your background. You get to pick from things such as outlaw or mercenary to baker or drunk. You can even pick shit shoveler if you fancy. Each one comes with its own different starting equipment and stats, which will affect how you begin the game. You may have noticed, however, you don't pick a class, and we'll get to that later. Now your character, be it Bob the Town Drunk or Scytheclaw the Mercenary, is ready for their first adventure, in which you begin with a rather humble start. The introductory story so far starts with you being captured by the House of Black and tossed into a dungeon in hopes of reclaiming a relic of Caerwyn, which can be used to ward off the monster-filled Famists that slowly creep across the lands. So, off you fuck into the dungeon of the Slime Lord, where you'll learn all about the abilities and skills you're going to need throughout the game, from picking locks to disarming traps and fighting through the undead and puddings until eventually besting the Slime Lord in all his gooey greatness, and then leaving the dungeon better for it, if not a bit sticky. But where do you go now? There's no map marker or direction apart from a little scribble in your journal. It's up to you, the player, to figure out the next steps, and I adore this. I love RPGs, but over the past few years, the idea of adventure has kind of been distilled into following the quest markers on the compass, with random events smattered about which tend to be the best thing. While I get that it's a quality of life upgrade and it's great for accessibility, it does tend to take the adventure out of adventuring. One of my favorite gaming memories comes from playing Valheim with the boys. We all jumped into a longship and set sail to find a new biome. We didn't know where it was, we'd never been out this far, and everything was new and dangerous and scared the shit out of us, but god damn, it was one of the best parts of the game. And Wyldheart looks to want to capture these moments that feel like they're ripped straight off the D&D table as you venture forth with your friends with nothing but a sword, a ripped cloak, and a vague idea of your next steps. That's an adventure, and one of the reasons why I'm so excited for this game. Additionally, Wyldheart trims the fat when it comes to exploring, allowing it to be a little bit more concise. Once you leave the first area, you'll discover the map is split into hexagons, 250 of them per campaign to be precise. Each one of them you can zoom into, allowing you to explore and discover new things. You could even go hunting or fishing to make meals for the party, or gather herbs for potions and concoctions, or you can disregard all of that and travel directly to your next location, such as the town of Elderlight. In the few remaining towns, you can do things such as craft, rest, bathe, or search for more information on the quests in the area. These come in the form of rumors from the innkeep, or a notice board full of bounties, maybe even the words of the local bard's song. Some will tell you explicitly where to go, whereas others might need you to roll wisdom in real life to figure out your next steps. Unfortunately, I have a -2 in wisdom, which is why I'll be bringing friends. Overall, the developers have said that each campaign will have about 10 hours of content on average, while the exploration and side content will be about 15 or so. While there's no word on how many campaigns will land onto early access, I've been able to speak to the devs a little on Discord and found out that while some side quests might follow similar templates, such as a lost villager or to kill a certain bounty, the dungeons and locations are all handmade yet randomly placed, meaning it's unlikely you'll visit the same layout twice. I've also learned that you'll have to plan your adventures. Traveling at night is dangerous, and not having enough food or equipment might spell trouble for your party, and death can be permanent. When your health hits 0, you fall unconscious and lose a heart of hope. If you're playing with a party, your teammates have about 60 seconds to get you back on your feet before you lose one of these hearts. If you lose them all, you die, which either means you'll need a revive scroll to get you back on your feet, or you'll have to make a brand new character, join your party, and go on an epic quest to bring you back from beyond the veil. But then you'll have to pick which character you want to play as now. On the other hand, if you're kicking ass and taking names, you'll eventually get enough XP to level up, and this is where we get back to the whole no class thing. In Wyldheart, you're able to level up however you want by using the different skill trees. At the time of this video, there are 11 trees split into attributes, weapons, and magic. These trees are adventuring, survival, dungeoneering, sword, axe, mace, bow, spear, blight, pyre, veil, and binding, with more coming. They allow you to do things such as upgrade your character's basic stats, improve skills such as herbalism, lockpicking, and stealth, unlocking special abilities for your chosen weapon, or filling your spellbook with all sorts of powerful magics. And it's completely up to you which one you choose to level. Obviously, the strongest abilities are lower down the tree, meaning the further you invest in one class, the stronger you'll be at that specific thing. But if you multi-class into the different trees, you can end up being a jack of all trades. The only thing I'm unsure of at the moment is how equipment will play into all of this. Will heavy armor matter? How legendary are the legendary weapons that you can find? Just how badass will Scytheclaw and Bob actually be? Other things you'll need to bear in mind is if you fill your pack with torches and rope or food and potions. What weapons do you take, as each enemy has strengths and weaknesses? A sword won't do much good against a skeleton, but a mace will crack skulls like nobody's business. You'll even have to consider your party's composition. Are you just a bunch of wizards on a wander, or do you have a rogue to deal with traps and a sword and board warrior for protection? I am a huge fan of tabletop tabletop roleplay games. So much so, I have a second channel dedicated just to them, called Tabletop Twisty. And everything I'm seeing and hearing about Wyldheart reminds me of the stories I've told over hours of D&D and Daggerheart campaigns, and I'm so excited to see the vision the team have brought to life. Speaking of which, the team behind Wyldheart are just 10 developers, but they have projects under their belt such as Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefield, and League of Legends, even some going as far back as titles such as Anarchy Online. So it seems to be a pretty solid new studio. However, there is one elephant in the room I need to address. Currently, Wyldheart is on Kickstarter, and I know just saying that has made a bunch of you dry heave. Thanks to projects that shall not be named, games on Kickstarter have unfortunately got something of a poor reputation, but I think that Wyldheart is a different story. Regardless of whether they reached their Kickstarter goal or otherwise, Wyldheart was always planning on releasing just a little later than expected and maybe needing the help of a publisher. One thing I did ask on their Discord was if they plan on implementing the stretch goals they've got later in development, even if the Kickstarter didn't reach the milestones, and I got the following response from the designer. Fear. The goals on Kickstarter are things that come from our hearts. They are what we think the community deserves. We will always strive to get the vision done in full, and when the game goes into early access, we get some money in, and that will be invested right towards these features. I'll let you make your own decisions on that, and I'd like to hear from you in the comments below, but I, for one, think it's a pretty heartwarming sentiment. However, this is my first ever Kickstarter I've backed, so I might be a little naive. Who knows? As of recording this, they've reached £135,000 and have some stretch goals such as new races like the Veilborn and Beastkin, recruitable animals, player housing, factions, and even a full DM mode. However, that is all the way at 1 million. So I don't quite know if they're going to make that to begin with. That being said, I don't know about you, but I would fucking love to DM in a game like this. Either way, I'll link both the Kickstarter and the Steam page down in the description so you can pick your preference. After all this, what are your thoughts on Wyldheart? Are you as hyped as I am, or as always, am I full of shit? Let me know down in the comments below, and consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I'd hugely appreciate it. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one.
I've been drinking Kool-Aid cameras like I did when I was 9, 'cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple 'cause it feels like